y'all.
We're back with something brand new because we are led to you. And today we are back with another episode of And You Think We're Peculiar?
Where we let you know it's okay not to be normal.
And today we got a very special guest.
Very special.
Our older cousin, Shaunise Jones.
Hey.
How are y'all?
How you doing, Shaunise?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing good?
Yeah, we're doing good. You excited to be here?
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited. Yes.
Yeah. So we have Shaunise here for, like we said, another episode of And You Think We're Peculiar. Mm-hmm. And so we're just gonna ask her a few questions to kind of explain why she's peculiar.
Yeah, why she's peculiar. I mean, that's what we're here for. Mm-hmm. The Peculiar series. Why is she peculiar? Okay. We gotta know.
But before we get into the questions, we have a challenge that we are doing with all of the people we are going to interview. Okay. So we are going to ask you to describe peculiar in 3 words, and you cannot say your name or a name of anybody that you know. Okay. You have to have 3 descriptive words of peculiar, and then at the end of all of these interviews, our viewers will vote who had the most creative one, and then the winner will get a gift card.
Yeah.
Pretty simple?
Yeah.
So we're going to give you 30 seconds.
She's already thinking.
We'll give you 30 seconds to pick some words, and then we'll come back and start the interview.
Yeah.
All right?
To be different. To be separate. An individual. Did I do it right?
Yeah. No. I thank God this ain't live.
What?
No, because we're giving you 30 seconds.
When you do 30 seconds, you gotta wait.
Then we're gonna come back, and then you think. And then you say what you have.
So
we're gonna say you have 30 seconds, and then you're gonna think for 30 seconds, and we're gonna bring you back and be like, this is what I have.
Okay, well, I'll pretend like I didn't come up with anything.
Yeah, okay.
So, all right, it's time to hear her 3 words to describe peculiar. Yes. Okay, Shaunise, take it away.
Take the floor.
All right. Individual. Independent. Liberal.
Okay, do we want to expound, or is that
no? It's just 3 words.
I want more. I want more.
Nah, you gotta leave it right there.
Okay.
It would have been cool if you went with the 3 eyes, because it would have been like, oh, it rhymed. It didn't rhyme.
What?
I don't know.
No, that didn't make sense.
Anyway.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and hop right into the interview. So the first question we have for you is, tell us what makes you peculiar.
I think I'm a peculiar person because I'm not afraid to be myself. You know? The truth. I stand for the truth, and whatever that looks like. You know, try to be an honest person. I try not to go with the norm of things all the time. So if I don't agree, I don't agree, and so I always try to stand for what's right. So I think that makes me peculiar.
And speaking of going against the norm, you have, well, it's not a peculiar job, but it's not a lot of people, what a lot of people actually grow up to actually do. Yeah. So a lot of people say, I want to be this when I grow up.
I want to be that.
But they don't really actually do it, but you got to. Yeah. So please explain to the people what you do for a living.
Well, I am a registered nurse.
You better be a nurse. You better be a nurse.
Okay. Oh, funny. But so I work in Tacoma, Washington on a stroke and neuro unit. So it's pretty interesting. It's good work, honest work. So
yeah. It's cool because I was like, I want to grow up to be a doctor one day, and I'm kind of like, no, I don't.
I wanted to grow up and be a lawyer. Yeah, but that ship sailed. I wanted to be a basketball player, but my career sucked, so I let that go.
And it hit a different chord with Shaunise. So she got to experience some of Malachi's games. Yeah. So she knows it firsthand about what you just said.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's keep going. Stop about me about Shaunise first. Okay,
Jumper was pretty solid. You know what I'm saying?
It was just the games that.
But you had to go through You had to pass through my traveling and my being scared of giving me the ball. Instead of I was saying good job to the other team. That's how bad I was. You know what I'm saying? So
it's okay. It was okay.
It's okay.
So to move on to the next question, especially with being a nurse, what are some of the challenges you face with making the decision of going against the norm?
Well, I guess I'm fortunate to work at a Christian hospital. So I'm able to express my beliefs. So I'm not attacked with, saying I am a believer in Jesus Christ. And so I'm fortunate enough to be able to express that belief with my patients. And so most nurses, they probably won't take the opportunity to minister or to pray with their patients, but I'm fortunate enough to be bold and exercise my faith with my patients or my clients. And so, so I had a couple of patients where I just simply asked them, I said, because they had anxiety or fearful of their diagnosis and weren't sure of what their life was going to look like. And so I just asked them boldly, without question, and because you never know, that could be their last opportunity to receive Christ or last opportunity to pray, So I just took it upon myself because I just felt an unction to just be obedient from the Holy Spirit, and I just prayed with them, and they were receptive. And I don't know what that looks like after, but I just know I was obedient, and so, yeah.
Oh, I have a question. So I know that you said, you share your relationship with Christ with your patients. When you first went into it, first being a nurse, were you always like that, always sharing with the gospel, or there times you were scared because that you just became a nurse and you not necessarily want to share, or have you always been in the position where like I'm just ready to share whenever?
No, actually, since I started working in the healthcare field, because I guess backtracking from when I was younger, like I've had opportunities to pray for different people for like either healing so that they can hear. And so I believe that God put me in the healthcare field for a reason. So I've always been bold about my beliefs in Christ. And I may not have been perfect all the time, but I never denied him. So when it came to sharing the love of Jesus with other people, I've always been open to those opportunities.
I think that's so inspiring, especially with doing like a career and especially sharing your belief in your faith when that's kind of like not your career. Especially when you go into ministry, like, or you're a pastor or a speaker, like it's it's
that's
normal for you to
but
share.
When you're like being a nurse, sometimes God is not the main focus, but the fact that you're able to have a career that you enjoy, that you pursue, that you go after, and still be able to have Christ at the front of it, where you can share as if you were a minister, as if you were a preacher. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, mind-boggling.
Is that right? Is that it?
Something like that.
Something like that. That's what the kids say these days.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, I thought mind-boggling.
Isn't that what I said? What I said?
I don't know.
I think you said mind-boggling.
We're
gonna watch the clip again. I don't know if I said that, but.
And honestly, to share your faith as a nurse to your other patients is very peculiar. That's not what a lot of people do. A lot of people are like, well, that's separate. My relationship with Christ is separate from my job. But to kind of mix the two, that goes against the norm. And so then another question would be, for you, was being peculiar a choice, or do you feel it's something you were born with?
I think I agree with both statements. I've always been different ever since I can remember. For example, I remember being in 7th grade and my teacher was teaching us a Big Bang Theory and was saying that's what created creation. And I remember because I used to carry my Bible around with me everywhere. And so I remember going to Genesis and literally having a whole sermon about the creation of the earth. But so I've always been vocal about God. So, and I remember I guess in kindergarten I prayed for my teacher think she had cancer. My mom kind of told me some stuff I can't.
Yeah.
She said I've always been that kid. So, so since I can remember, yes.
That's good. Well, I mean, that wraps up the questions that we have for you. So before we get into the viewers' question, we're going to take a little break, allow you to drink some water, and then we will be back.
All right.
Really, I needed a break so I could charge my laptop.
Yeah, there's no water here.
Trying to be professional.
We don't got it like that, dog.
All right, so we are back, and it's time to go ahead and head over onto the viewers' questions. Malachi, go ahead.
All right, so we got a couple questions from the viewers that we picked out. 5 questions that we're going to ask you. All right, so here is the first question. What was the schooling process? What was it like?
School?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, it was hard. I would say that. So my journey's kind of crazy. So I started out at the University of Southern Mississippi. I was there for 3 years, and I was getting ready to apply. This was in 2015. I was getting ready to apply for nursing school. So I had got my GPA right it needed to be and done all my prereqs. So I'm just now taking the Kaplan for this, which is our nursing school entrance exam. And so anyway, so some things occurred in family, a tragedy. My sister, not to be a Debbie Downer, but my sister anyway got in a car accident. So and she passed. So that kind of put a pause on things mentally. And I would say by God's grace, he kind of allowed me to work through that. So I ended up, I didn't take a break though. I ended up transferring to University of South Alabama with my younger sister, trying to support her because her and my sister Sierra were like twins. So that was hard for her. So I was being a big sister and went there, and I found out that they didn't need an entrance exam to be accepted to their school. So I got a 4.0 that whole year in 2016, and I got on the waiting list twice with the 4.0. So I was like, I don't have time for this. I need to get the ball rolling. So then I applied to William Carey University, which is where I graduated from. That was a hard situation because when I thought I was gonna graduate in 2019, I ended up failing a class and having to sit out for 6 months, and I was just mad because it was like I was getting ready to go to my capstone, but it was like a breathing process. Kind of was able to reset mentally and take a little mini break, which I think I needed because I didn't take a break at all in between any of this. And then now I'm here. Took the NCLEX, and it was a test mentally, but perseverance was really the theme for my college career. So
yeah, because I
remember.
Yeah, we remember your schooling process, man. That was a lot happened, and I'm glad that you touched on our cousin Sierra because that was a big thing that could have stopped someone, from going after their dreams, losing a sibling, losing a family member or anything like that's, traumatic, tragic, or something like that can stop someone. But you were able to persevere, and only by the grace of God. I mean, because a lot of people have a dream, a lot of people want to go after something, but there's always something that's going to stop you. But it's important to not let those things stop you and continue to keep going.
Because at the end of the day, that's what makes you peculiar.
That's what makes you peculiar, is not giving up. It all comes back around. It comes back around. All right, here is the second question. What made you want to pursue nursing? Not pursue nursing.
Well, I really enjoy helping people. Like, I enjoy it. And it's like another form of ministry. Like, everything comes back full circle. It's like, what is your purpose in life, and what direction does God want you to go? And I believe, like, being part of the healing process, or even the process of a loved one is transitioning, even being a part of that and being able to minister and comfort the family in that way too. So, you know, those are the things that inspired me to be a nurse. And then I was able to take care of my grandmother when she was going through, and that kind of inspired me too.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, here is the third question we got. What is the greatest impact a patient has had on you, either a good or bad impact? The greatest impact a patient has had on you.
Oh, this one's hard. Trying to think, because there's so many things, like so many occurrences. I would say patience. Like my patience gave me patience. There are times when I'm like, why did I want to do this? But I think in a whole, they make me more patient with people. Like I'm trying not to be so short when dealing with certain things, because you never know what people are going through, so you try to have more compassion. And I think I feel like I've always had compassion, but I feel like I'm able to be more gentle.
Okay. These are great. All right, we got 2 more questions. What is your favorite part of your job? I know you said you like helping people, but let's see if you can say something other than helping people. What is your favorite part, your second favorite part of your job?
Ooh, so some people don't like wound care and stuff, but I love doing wound care because another part of me wants to be a surgeon, but when I found out like 14 years, I was like, no. But, I was like, this is too long already. But yeah, I love wound care. Like, it's amazing. And I've always wanted to pursue labor and delivery nursing because it has a little bit of everything I love.
Yeah.
About the healthcare field. So yeah.
I like that because, you know, everybody was like, I want to help people. That's all good. But like, what's it like being a nurse? And like, I like how you said the wound care, giving us a little bit more in-depth insight into being a nurse.
All right, here is the last question. All right, what is the most challenging part of your job?
Well, being a Black nurse, for one, sometimes when people, they just blatantly don't want you as their healthcare provider because of the color of your skin. And so they just automatically assume you're not adequate to do the job, or you're not smart enough. They automatically just write you off and think you don't know what you're doing. I feel like that part is the hardest thing to swallow.
Yeah. You know? How does that affect you?
Well, you just kind of say, well, this person doesn't want me to take care of them, so I just ask the charge nurse, can I switch with someone, because they're rejecting care for me. You know, at the end of the day, it's the patient's priority. So those moments are hard.
That sounds hard. I know. I mean, I'd be like,
wait, how would you be like?
I don't know how I'd be.
You just said you'd be like,
I don't really know if I want to, you know, say it on platform. Yeah, I'll tell y'all later. Anyways, we want to thank you for taking the time to come.
Yes.
And just to chat with us. Honestly, you're a cousin, so we're just talking. It wasn't a professional thing. Just comment to talk and to let people know that it is okay to be different, and especially to kind of explain your story of how you're peculiar.
And also it's important because I mean we live in a world where everyone is like the same person, you know, where the world is pushed to be different. The world really pushes to stand in, you know, not really stand out. And if we're standing out, it's for the wrong thing. It's for not the right thing. So the fact that you could be able to, thank you for coming on here and sharing why you're peculiar and for the good reason. You're a good reason. What? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. You're peculiar, but for a good reason. That's
For the right reason.
For the right reason. Thank you. You're not for something wrong. So.
Yeah. So if you're a Christian and you're on the job and you're working, don't be afraid to let people know that you're a Christian and don't be afraid. Be bold.
Be bold.
Be bold in Christ. But before we let you go, we want to ask everyone to give Malachi and I a 1-sentence piece of advice.
Just be you. Don't change for people, and if you don't agree with something, just stand your ground. Don't change your morals or your standards.
That's been into way more than
I mean, a sentence is kind of hard.
No, we just asked for a sentence.
It was a conjunction sentence. It was 2 and 1.
No, you're adding the semicolon, the comma.
That's a sentence. Is it not?
Oh my gosh. It's so difficult. Anyways, thank you for coming on. We are gonna never wrap it up, but we will talk to you later. All right, and so that's
the one we just actually heard out.
So thank you for joining us on this episode of And You Think We're Peculiar,
where we let you know it's okay not to be normal.
And it was very fun to have our big cousin out here, so shout out to her.
Woo!
So stay tuned for the next episode, and if you enjoyed this, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so that you're notified every time we post another video. But go ahead and wait till the next one.
Yes,
because it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
All right, and now, guys, while they're waiting, what can they do?
Well, I want you guys, even though we're doing an interview, it's still the same thing. I want you guys to be fresh. You guys see the girls? You guys see it? Well, girl squad, okay? I want you guys to be blessed. Get the cross. And especially, I want you to do your best. Hey, go for the alley-oop, backspace, turn around fillet.